We're going to start in quadruped. You want your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, making sure you've got this 90-degree angle at your shoulders and hips. Gently press into your hands, especially that pinky side, and lift your chest away. You should already start to feel a bit of your shoulder and that armpit muscle wake up. And we're going to just go for some breathing here. So inhale, letting your rib cage open up in all directions. And exhale, you're going to feel your waist narrow in. Feel those front ribs reaching in towards each other. Inhale and expand. And exhale, drawing those ribs back in. Keep them knitted. You're going to start to breathe into the sides of your ribs. Inhale. And exhale, wrapping that waist in. Looking good. We're going to do 4 more breaths here just to get all of those core muscles warmed up and awake. Keep in mind that throughout this class, I want you to really focus on what your body is telling you. So listen, if you feel that you can push yourself a little harder, feel free to do so. If you want to take a break whenever you need to, also feel free to do that. 2 more breaths here. And after that last breath, feel those low abs draw in towards your spine. Feel like you're trying to hug your baby up and in. And then inhale into your belly. Exhale, belly button draws up and in. 2 more breaths like this. One more. And after that last breath, we're going to start with some cat-cow. So you're going to inhale. Feel how your spine arches down towards the floor. You lift your chest up and open your collarbones out to the side. And as you exhale, tuck your pelvis, drawing those low abs in. You're arching your spine up towards the ceiling like an angry cat, and turning your gaze in towards your navel. Inhale. Reach your tailbone back. Feel how each vertebrae moves one at a time, reversing that arch. And exhale. Good, we're going to do 5 more here, going at your own pace. When your spine arches down, don't let your low back crunch. You're still trying to draw your belly button up and in, trying to hug your baby in. So we're still engaging your core here, especially that TVA, which is your deepest ab muscle, for support. And then as you exhale, start with your tailbone. Feel how it tucks and curls down towards the mat, and your spine arches up. You're pressing into your hands, reaching your spine a little further. And inhale for reverse. Last 2 here. Beautiful. And after this last one, you're going to come right back into neutral. So here, feel the crown of your head and tailbone reaching nice and long. Your spine is lengthening out. Keep your arms straight. You're going to exhale and let your chest sink down. Shoulder blades draw in towards one another. And then exhale, pressing into your hands. Lifting your chest. Separating. Inhale, shoulders sink. Exhale, press. So here it's like your shoulder blades are shrugging up towards the ceiling and then away. You're still keeping your core engaged, drawing those low abs in for these last 5. and 3, 2. After that last one, you're gonna hold it here in neutral. So again, finding in between those two extremes. You want your collarbones nice and wide. Keep pressing into your hands. Inhale, let your belly fill up with air. And then exhale, draw that belly button in, hugging that baby up and in towards your spine. We're gonna hold it here for 30 seconds. Looking good, drawing it in, hold. 4, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and inhale, filling your belly up with air. We're gonna do that one more time. Exhale, drawing that belly button back up and in, hugging that baby in for 30 seconds. Keep gently pressing into your hands, reaching your tailbone and the crown of your head long. Look good. We've got just 15 seconds left. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can sit back into child's pose if that feels good for you. You might have to widen up your knees here. Nice deep breath. And we're gonna go for a side lying leg. So here you can lie all the way down, reaching your arm long and resting your head on it. Feel free to use a pillow underneath your waist if you want a little bit of support here. If you want to go a bit more challenging today, you can always have your forearm down on the mat so you're propped up on that forearm, making sure your elbow is underneath your shoulder. We're going to start with your knees bent and stacked. Bring your left hand onto your hip and reach that left hip away from your ribs. Pressing into that forearm and lifting your rib cage away from the floor if you're propped up. And from here, you're just going to lift your left leg up and down, keeping your shin parallel with your bottom leg, keeping your heel and knee in line with each other. We're going to do 8 more here. Looking good. 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. You're going to hold that leg up. Hold up on this last one, looking good. You're going to bring your knee to point down and then up. Knee points down and then up. We're getting this rotation of your thigh bone to come from inside that hip socket. Good. We've got 4. And 3. If you're propped up, don't let your chest sink down. Keep it lifted. If you're lying down, you still want to reach that left hip away, keeping a lift of your waist from the mat. After this last one, you're going to hold your leg in parallel, keep your ankle and knee in line, and straighten that leg all the way out. Bending that knee back in. Leg goes long and bends back in. Going here for 7, 6, 4, 3, 2. Hold your leg long on this last one. Sweep that leg forward and then back. Sweep that leg forward and back. You can lift your left arm here, keeping it in line with your waist. And we're going to add a bit of movement with your spine. So as your leg goes forward, you're going to reach that arm forward. Gently twist your chest down to the floor. And then when your leg sweeps forward, arm sweeps back, opening your chest up towards the ceiling. We're going to do 6 more here like this. Nice and slow. And then the challenge here is to not let your foot sink down to the floor. Keep it lifted in line with your hip for these last 4. 3. 2. And last 1. Good, come right back to center, left hand on your hip, keep that left leg long. We're gonna go for little tiny circles. Super small circles. Feel like you're trying to draw around the edge of a golf ball with your heel. Nice. Keep lifted in your chest if you're propped up. Again, keep your waist nice and long. Imagine that someone's pulling your heel away from your hip. And switch the direction of that circle. Nice and steady. We've got 8 and 6, 3, 2, and after that last one, you can bend that knee back in, pound that butt out. Nice deep breath. For this one, you're going to bring your left foot forward, straighten your right leg out. Make sure you're lying down for this one, it's a little bit easier. You're going to lift your right leg up an inch and draw it back down. But when that leg lifts, do not let your rib cage melt down into the mat. You still want to keep a bit of a lift there. Good. Going here for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up here on this last one. Really feel your inner thighs working here for 4 and 3. Last 2 and 1. Beautiful. You can rest that leg down, straighten your left leg. Just pound your butt out here if you need to. We're back onto all 4s. So here again, make sure you have your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. This time you're going to tuck your toes on the mat. Exhale, hug your baby up and in towards your spine, and then hover your knees off the mat. And then inhale to slowly bring them back down. Beautiful here. We're going to do 8 more. Trying to go as slowly as you can, especially as your knees come down so that we're controlling that movement the entire time. We're not just letting gravity slam you down. Last 6. Keep your sits bones flaring back. Don't lean forward. Don't hinge too far back either. You want to keep your knees underneath your hips the entire time for these last 3. And 2. And on this last one, we're going to hold it for 10 seconds, drawing those low abs further in. Keep pressing from the pinky side of your hand. 4, 3, and 2. Last one, and sink down. You can move the shoulders around a little bit here. A nice deep breath. Stay in that quadruped position. We're going to start by lifting one arm and one leg at a time. Start with your right arm first. Bring it down. Left arm. Bring it down. Right leg. And then left leg. When you lift your arm, don't let your shoulder come up to your ear. Keep your shoulders relaxed away from your ears. And when your leg lifts, don't let it go so high that you start to crunch in your low back. Think more about reaching your heel back to the wall behind you, creating length in your spine instead of crunch. We're going to do 2 more here to each limb. Going nice and slow at your own pace. When your leg lifts, feel that squeeze of your butt and hamstring. Looking good. And then on this next one, we're going to combine those two. So right arm and left leg lift. Keep drawing your belly in. Think about your toes and fingertips reaching long away from each other. And down. Left arm, right leg. Nice. We're going to do 5 more to each side. Trying to move super slow so we've got absolute control the entire time. It's also going to make sure that you're not swaying from side to side as you lift your arm and leg. Last 3. Two. On this next one, keep your right arm and left leg long. Good. Tiny pulses. Up, up, up. Again, you want to feel like you're pulsing from that thigh muscle, which is where your thigh meets your butt, and from your shoulder. Up, up. 4, 4, 3, 2. Hold it here. Can you open that arm and leg an inch out and in, out and in? If doing both arm and leg does not feel very good, you can always keep your leg down, open your arm twice, and then switch. Bring that arm down, open your leg twice, and keep alternating like that. We've 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. And bring that arm and leg down. We're going to switch side. So here, left arm, right leg. Again, fingertips and toes are reaching long away from each other. Keep pressing into your right hand and lifting your chest away so we're not sinking in that shoulder. We're using your abs for support as well. And you're going to go for pulses first. Pulsing them an inch up, super small. Keeping your back long. Pulsing from that thigh muscle for 3, 2, 1. Hold. Open that arm and leg an inch out and in. Out and in again, like that windshield wiper motion. Feel free to do the modification if that feels better for you. So doing 2 pulses here and then 2 with your leg and switching. Going for these last 3. 2, 1, and bring that arm and leg down. Excellent. For here, you're going to start with your right arm, thread it underneath you, twisting your chest slightly to the left, and then you're going to open that arm up to the right side and ceiling, and then thread and dip, open. Going here for 4. 2. Last 1. If it feels good here, you can rest on that right shoulder. Open your knees out wide if you need to here. Getting this nice stretch in that deltoid. Good. And then carefully coming back up, we're switching sides. So again, knees underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulder. You're going to thread that left arm underneath your right side, twisting to the right. And then opening that arm up to the ceiling, opening your chest to the left. Twist. And open. Going here for 4. 4, 2. on this next one if it feels good. Again, twist, resting on that shoulder, opening your knees wide if you need to. You can reach your right arm long and find this really nice stretch in that left shoulder and deltoid. Lying here for a breath. And then carefully coming up. We're going to go for our side lying series once more. So here, you're going to once again start with your forearm on the mat or arm reaching long if that feels good for you, whichever you prefer. Again, the propped up version is going to be a little bit more challenging for your core. You're going to press into that forearm if you're propped up, lifting your chest away. Reach that right hip long away from you, so whether you're lying down or propped up, you still have a bit of space between your waist and the mat. And we're going to start with a parallel leg lift. So here you're going to lift that right leg and bring it back down. Lift and back down. Again, keeping that shin parallel with your left leg, keeping your heel and your knee in line. Really nice. 4, 6. 4. 2. Hold up on this last one, dipping that right knee down and up, right knee down and up, finding an internal and external rotation of your thigh bone inside of your hip socket. 4, 5. And 4. Keep that waist lifted. 3. And after this last one, you're going to keep your leg nice and parallel. Straighten that right leg all the way out. Again, someone's grabbing that heel, pulling it away from you, lengthening both sides of your waist. And then knee bends back in. Reaches long and bends back in. When that leg reaches long, you've got your heel lined right underneath your hip as if you were standing. And then bends in, knee bends just to your hip point. Going here for 5. And 3. Nice and long. Looking good. We're going to go for that sweep. Reaching that leg forward. And then back. Forward. And back. Good. Again, you can reach that arm with you. Opening your chest up to the ceiling. And arm goes forward, gently twisting your chest down to the mat. Still trying to keep your leg in line with your hip the entire time, as if you were sweeping that leg over a tabletop. Going here for 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And after this last set, come right back to center. Keep that leg in line with your hip. Again, right underneath your hip. Right hand on that hip. And drawing little tiny circles with your heel. Again, trying to trace the edge of a golf ball. If you're propped up, don't let your chest sink down. Keep lifting. Good. Keep reaching that waist long if you're lying down. We've got 3 in this direction, and then we're switching the direction of that circle. And switch. Good. Going here for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax that leg in, pounding that butt out. You're gonna lie down here. Bring that right foot forward. Keep your left leg long. Make sure you've got your hips nice and stacked. We're gonna go for that inner thigh work. So you're going to exhale, lift that leg up, and lower it back down. Left leg lifts and lowers. Again, try to keep that waist lifted. So we're not just crunching in your right waist and collapsing your left waist. We're really using your inner thigh muscles, those adductors, to lift your leg for these last 4, 3, 2, hold it up here in this last one. Keep it as high as you can for 4 and 3. Last 2, 1, and rest that leg back down. You can straighten your right leg, pound that butt out. Nice deep breath. And then here we're going to come into our kneeling side plank. You want to make sure you've got your knees in line with your entire chest. So you got one long line. Again, you're going to have your elbows underneath your shoulder. Form nice and straight. Take a nice deep breath here. As you exhale, you're going to press into that form, into your knees, and lift your hips off. Right hand can be on your hip here. And we're going to go for little hip dips. So lower your hips down and lift. Lower your hips down and lift. If you want to make this a bit more challenging, don't rest your hips down on the mat. Maybe lower just enough to tap and lift back up. To tap and lift back up. Going here for 8 and 7. We've got 5, 3, 2, hold it up here. You're going to bring your right hand behind your head and gently twist your chest down to the mat and back up. Chest twist and back up, keeping your hips stacked the entire time. Don't let them twist down with you. That way we're really getting your obliques to do this work. Last 3. Keep pressing into that form, lifting your chest away for 2. And after that last 1, beautiful, you can rest down, nice deep breath. Roll that shoulder back. We're going to come down to all 4s once more, but this time you're going to have your forearms down. You still want to have your forearms about as wide as your shoulders or your hips. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. From here, you're going to reach your right leg out long. And again, think more about length rather than height. If you go too high, you start crunching in that low back. I want you to keep drawing your belly button up and in. Keep that heel reaching back more to the corner of the room where the wall and the ceiling meet. Good. And from here, bend that knee back in and reach it out long. Knee bends back in, reach it back out. Going for 6. Trying to find a balance point between your right elbow and your left knee. Last 4. 3, 2, hold your leg long here. You're going to lower that leg and lift. Lower that leg and lift. 4, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that leg up. You're going to tap your toes on the outside of your left leg and then open that right leg. Toes tap off to the right side. creating this rainbow with that leg. Keeping your hips nice and squared off the entire time. We're going to do 5 more here. Good. 4. And 2. 1 more here, and then you got one last variation. Once you finish that last tap, keep your leg long. You're going to bend your knee and have your heel reaching up toward the ceiling and kind of in towards your butt. And do little tiny pulses here. Up, up, up. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that knee down. Nice deep breath. And we're going to do everything on the other side. This time reaching your left leg out long, finding that balance point between your right knee and left elbow. Bend it in and reach out long. Again, going for length rather than height. Your heel is trying to reach to that corner where the wall and ceiling to ceiling. Good, so you're feeling that engagement in your thigh muscle for these last 4. 3, 2. Hold on this last one. Reach that leg a little further. Looking good. We're going to go for leg lifts and lowers. Lowering that leg and lifting for 8. Trying to keep your pelvis super steady, so again, when your leg lifts, you don't crunch in your low back. Keep your belly up and in towards your spine. So we're creating support here through your core, especially those really deep core muscles, your TBA. Last 2. Hold on this last one, keep it long. We're going to go for little rainbow toe taps. So you're going to tap your left toes on the outside of your right leg. Rainbow your leg up and over, tapping your left toes off to the side. Up and over. Again, going about as wide as your yoga mat here. We're going to do 5 more. Four. You got just 2. 1. And after this last one, reach your leg out long. You're going to bend your knee. Reach that heel up and in, and tiny pulses. 4, 6, 5, 3, 2. After that last one, you can bring that knee down. Nice deep breath. And then you're going to come right back onto all 4s. You're going to keep your knees about as wide as your hips. Shoulders, again, just above your hands. This time you're going to bend your elbows. Keep them narrowed in by your waist, lowering your chest down. And then coming back up. Elbows bend back, staying narrowed in by your waist. We're going to get a little tricep work here. Going nice and slow, and only going as low as feels good for you. You want to make sure that you're not flexing forward in your spine. You're keeping your spine nice and long. So it's like you're hinging from your hips, lowering your chest down. We're going to do 5 more here. And 3. On this last one, I want you to go super slow, bending those elbows back, super, super tiny movements going down. Hold it here at the bottom. Take a nice deep breath. And then exhale, coming right back up. Beautiful. Here you're going to keep your arms straight. Find nice length in your spine. going to go for a bicep push-up this time. So you're going to bend your elbows out to the side, lower your chest down nice and slow, and then pressing back up. Elbows bend out to the side, and come back up. Looking good. We've got 5. Again, only going as low as feels good for you, but focus here on going slow so that way you've got control the entire time. Last 2. And on this last one, again going super slow, bending those elbows out to the side. Tiny, tiny inches per second here. Hold at the bottom for an inhale. And then exhale to come right back up. Beautiful. You can sit back onto your heels. We're going to do little arm circles. Looking good. Shake those wrists off if you need to. And we're going to go for our kneeling side plank. So here, you're going to have once more that right elbow underneath your right shoulder. You're going to have your knees stacked. Make sure you've got your knees in line with your chest and the crown of your head. So you got a long line of your spine. Good. You're kind of sending your shins back in space. And from here, you're going to exhale, press into your knees, press into your forearm, and lift your hips off. Good. And we're going to go for little hip dips. So again, hips tap down and up, tap down and up. If you want to get challenging again, don't rest your hips down on the mat. Get them to just gently tap and lift back up. You keep pressing into that forearm and lifting your chest away so you feel support coming from that armpit muscle for these last 4. And 3. 2. Hold on this last one. You're going to bring that left hand behind your head, twisting your chest down to the mat and back up. Chest twist down and back up. Just for 4. And 3. 2. Final 1. And carefully come back down. Nice deep breath. Again, come to kneeling here, going for little arm circles. Two more back. Beautiful. And from here, we're going to carefully come all the way up to standing. Once you're standing, you want to make sure you've got your feet about hip width apart. Good, nice and parallel. We're going to start with just some alternating heel lifts. So here you're going to lift your right heel. And then as the right heel comes down, you switch and lift your left. And switch. Nice and steady. Good, we're going to do just 3 more to each side. And 2. Excellent, final set. Once you're evened out to the left, bring that left heel down, keep your feet nice and parallel. This time we're going to lift both heels. Going up nice and slow, and then coming right back down. Heels lift and lower. Making sure here that as they lift, you feel like you're rolling through your foot, Going heel, arch onto the ball of your foot, and then reversing ball, arch, heel. Good. This is going to be really good work to help strengthen your ankles, getting this really nice mobility in your foot. We've got 6. And 4. Two. Holding it up on this last one. Nice deep inhale. And then slowly lower those heels back down as you exhale. So we're going to find a tiny external rotation coming from your thighs. So don't just turn your feet out. You want to feel like your thighs turn out a little bit. Good. You're still keeping your feet kind of about as wide as your hips, maybe a tiny bit wider. And from here, you're going to exhale, send your butt down and back in space, coming down into your squat, and then pressing back up. So here, you want to keep your spine nice and long. Because having a belly tends to pull your low back in, sticking your butt out, it's really easy to crunch in your low back here and find a bit of extension in that low back. Think about gently tucking your pelvis. So you're creating length in the back and then pressing the weight into your heels. So you're using your hamstrings and glutes to come back up. Again here, taking it nice and slow. When you are pregnant, your body releases this hormone called relaxin, which does exactly what it sounds like it does. It relaxes all the ligaments and your muscles in your body. So you might feel a bit more flexible than you usually did before, but just because you are more flexible doesn't mean that you should go to those extremes. It's really easy to get injured in those positions since you also don't have as much control of your body when you have that hormone kind of just running through. So here, we're going to do 6 more squats, nice and steady. Again, finding a range of motion that works. Good, sitting that butt down and back in space. You're still trying to hug that baby in towards your spine. So we've got some support for your spine coming from your core for these last 2. Excellent here. And on this last one, you're going to hold that squat. And we're going to go for little tiny pulses, up an inch and down, up an inch and down. Nice and steady here. You're pressing from your heels. You're keeping that pelvis lightly tucked forward. 4, 5, and 4, 3, 2, 1. Carefully stand all the way back up. This is going to widen your legs a little bit further. You want to find, again, that external rotation from your thighs. So here, feel like your thighs are rotating out. You've got your knee tracking with the second and third toes. So that when your knees bend, they're opening out to the sides instead of knocking in. And we're going to go right back down into some sumo squats here. So as you exhale, you slowly sink down and press back up. So here again, so you want to start nice and slow. You don't want to go all the way down in your first go, again, because of the relaxin running through your body. You want to make sure that you are controlling this movement instead of sinking into a stretch. Nice and steady. You're keeping your belly in. You're using your glutes and inner thighs here for this squat. If this feels good, maybe you start going a little bit lower. Again, listening to your body, seeing what feels good, what does not. We've got 6. And 4. 3. 2. Beautiful. On this last one, hold it as low as feels good for you. We're going to go back for those pulses. Up an inch and down. Up an inch and down. Going here for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand all the way up. Beautiful. We're going to do one last thing here, and then we're going to go for some stretches. So I want you to come right back down to all fours. This time we're going to go for a kneeling plank. If it feels good for you, feel free to go on for a full plank. For a kneeling plank, you want to keep your knees down, keep that pelvis lightly tucked forward. Again, your hands underneath your shoulders, and you've got this long line of your spine. Beautiful. We're going to go for little hip rotations. So let your left hip dip down, come up, right hip dip down, come up. If it feels good for you again and you want that full plank, same thing here, but you're tucking your toes and holding your knees off the mat. Small rotation, making sure your chest doesn't rotate with you. We are going to do 2 more to each side. 1 more. Hold. And little tricep push-ups. Elbows bend back and come up. Elbows bend back and come up. Again, drawing those low abs in. If you start to feel like you're sinking in that low back and crunching, maybe come up a little bit, tuck that pelvis, draw those low abs further in. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Excellent. You can open your knees nice and wide here, sink back into a child's pose if that feels good for you. Beautiful. And from here, I want you to carefully come to sitting. You're just going to cross your legs, however it feels good for you. And you're going to reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, side bending up and over to the left. Make sure that you're not just crunching in that left waist, but trying to find length. You're reaching up and over like you're trying to create this rainbow sensation with your spine. Feel free to use your left hand to pull your right hand a little bit further if that feels good for you. And then coming back up, reaching that left hand up and over to the right. And coming back up. Looking good. From here, you're carefully going to come up to sitting. Beautiful. And all you're going to do is reach your hands interlaced in front of your chest and then up towards the ceiling. Finding that side bend over to the right once more. Coming back to center. And to the left. You're going to interlace your hands behind your back, palms facing in. Reach your arms long, opening your chest up. See if you can kind of open your chest up towards the ceiling. Reach those arms further back. And after that last breath, you can let go. Shake it all off. And you're done. Thank you for joining me with Prenatal.